Men have the strangest expectations of what women are, with or without a motorcycle. It's pretty isolating to be in a world where you're constantly breaking that boundary. So it's important to have the community of the Sirens to fall back on so that you feel normal a bit.
I think I would describe riding as like your ultimate opportunity to be in control of everything around you and feel everything around you. It's a completely independent experience.
Motorcycling to me is physical, emotional, spiritual, because I feel like I'm almost alone, but I'm also together with people.
What you're doing is so important. Being visible, strong women on bikes, working together, doing your own thing. Now more than ever, people need to see people like us.
For us to exist in this space is so precious and important. And it makes me choke up because it's a place where we get to be and we get to connect and like have our history here. So I want to talk again. Here's our founding members. They're going to talk here in a second, but you know, these women here did something really important to me. You know, in '86, when the club came to be, I was 10.
Oh,
and
what are you doing now? I was 8.
But let me be completely honest.
Molly
like
wasn't born.
Molly wasn't born. Some others were not born. When I think about the club and how hard I work for it, the reason is because if I could actually reach out to that 10-year-old and say, your people are there for you, they're waiting. God, I think my life would have been so easy.
The Sirens is the oldest women's motorcycle club in New York. We've had other women's motorcycle clubs that have come and gone, but the Sirens is by far the longest running. It started back in 1986. The short story is that someone put an ad in the Village Voice. There used to be a thing in the Village Voice on the back page where, you could have, missed connections or all sorts of interesting things were on the back page. And so someone put an ad on the back page of the Village Voice to start a women's motorcycle club. When you're the only one who does anything, you can feel very isolated. And when you're a woman riding a motorcycle, or back in the 80s, certainly when you were a woman riding a motorcycle, you absolutely felt like the only one, perhaps the only one on earth. So it was so wonderful to find other women who rode that it was this celebratory moment. And that's one of the reasons why community with the Sirens is so important.
Before the Sirens came along and formed a club, there were a few women, Diane Malian being one of them, and a couple of other friends, who rode in the Pride March. Really? They would just go in the march. So women on bikes in the Pride March predate the Sirens. And in fact, motorcycles in the Pride March predate the women on bikes because there's Empire City, which is the oldest boys' motorcycle club east of the Rockies. That's how they used to talk about themselves. And they used to ride their bikes in Pride.
Back then, there were a lot of men. And it was a much smaller event, and it was much shorter. I remember it might have been sometime in the early or mid-90s that we could look at Fifth Avenue from one end to the other and see that we had filled the entirety of Fifth Avenue, and that was amazing. There might have been less than a dozen of us on that first Pride ride. I had no idea what it would be like. We're going on a ride. I showed up with my leather jacket. So I rode down Fifth Avenue in the blazing hot sun wearing a leather jacket. And then after that, we wised up and started wearing skimpy outfits. The police were so hostile. They were so scared of gay people. And I was no bigger then than I am now, and I'm not a huge person by any stretch. I walked up to an officer to say, "Is that our parking area over there?" And as I stepped towards him, he looked at me, panicked, and backed up. And I felt so powerful and hated.
Oh, shit, this is... Hey! Oh, she rides it like she fucking stole it. That woman can ride, cuz. Yeah. No, she's gonna move it back. She always gets off to move it back. The route is 80 miles. I mean, I might stop somewhere.
So what you need to do is...
Let's talk about the ride today, because it's gonna be fun. Safety first, number one, absolutely. We're gonna keep it slow and easy. For anyone that's never ridden in a group ride, I think we should go over our formation.
Okay, ladies, let's get information.
Exactly. So if you've never ridden in a big group ride, we ride staggered. The reason we ride this way is because it keeps anyone from having to make a fast correction. It gives them a space. It gives you that cushion of safety, right? We think we're a group, yes, but we're also individual bikes.
When we're riding, especially going if we're getting on the fun ride, twisties, and someone behind you is riding slower than you, it is your job to make sure you can see her, Kim. Right, Kat? It's your job to make sure you can see the woman behind.
Yeah, oh yes, thank you. Because this is big. It's like 17 people. So if someone's like lagging behind, which is totally fine, just do your speed. We will slow down for that.
Don't be afraid that we're gonna get lost or anything. No siren left behind.
All right, let's get ready. Foot, baby, foot. My story with motorcycles actually starts when I was a little kid. There was a guy who lived down the street from me. Good old Mark. He had a little scooter, but I remember looking at this guy and he was so cool on his little scooter. He was hanging out with the kids and I'm like, man, I want to do that. The first bike I owned was 1992 Harley Sportster. The first ride I was terrified because I just had bought the bike. I think I was thinking to myself, oh, my mom's gonna kill me. But it's so fun, so I don't care. After I was laid off from a job in upstate New York, I was like, well, what do I do now? The only thing that was missing, because everybody knew I rode a motorcycle, was other women that rode motorcycles. It's like, wait, I can find women that do this now. So I went online, I looked for motorcycle club. Little did I know I was gonna find the club and women I'd actually like to hang out with. And it became so much more to me. It became my family in New York, you know what I mean? Hey, Tito! What? Come here, bro. You wanna twist this wrench on the other side? I'm gonna put you to work if you standing still, son. See how strategic this was? I just lay down next to my bike and then I call Tito. I don't know, can you look? I mean, it's not hot, no. Hi! Sway me.
The hardest part of riding a motorcycle. Other drivers, yeah. I mean, you can be the best rider that you are, fully alert, fully aware, but you're at the mercy of everyone else on the road. So I did have an experience a couple years ago, which I call my near-death experience, where another driver he was 3 lanes over, but was trying to get to an exit, and he cut me off so closely. I felt like a breeze from his car, and then he stopped in front of me because he realized he couldn't cut off the next car over. And I went, whoop, you gotta look really fast. No one's in the other lane, and then your heart is in your throat for the rest of the day, but you avoid disaster. I have been riding for 16 years. I can't even believe it. When I woke up this morning, and many Saturday mornings, I'm really tired from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and 9 to 5 doesn't mean 9 to 5, much more. And I was so exhausted, and I thought, I don't even know if I feel like riding. And then I said, I want to do this day. As soon as I got it together, and started riding, I was like, this is making me forget about the work week, So it's super important to do it.
Surprise.
We really weren't looking to men's motorcycle clubs as a model for what we were doing because we found it so objectionable that, of course, women were considered property of. That's what was on the patch.
Look at this room.
Do you have a piece of paper, to go around the room? Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to the April Sirens meeting. My name's Katie. So usually we also ask what you ride, if you ride a bike. And I ride a Kawasaki Ninja.
My name's Jen, and I ride a 2008 Super Glide Custom Harley.
Hi, I'm Dusty, member. I ride a 2019 BMW 12 R250 GS.
Very beautiful. Yay. Very beautiful. My name is Sandra. I'm the Pride Coordinator. I ride a Yamaha FJ09 and a Yamaha FZ07.
I'm Cheryl. I ride an FC1 and at the track a BMW S1000RR. Yes. Right.
And
I'm founding member.
that's freaking important.
I came to the Sirens because I met Jen the night of gay marriage was legalized in 2011, and she had her bike out front at a bar, and she asked if someone wanted to go on a ride, and I put my hand up very fast, and I said, me. So I started off on the back of the bike, and less than 2 years into it, I said I wanted to ride my own. So I got my own bike.
Well, she was in like sandals and a little mini skirt thing, and I was like, what
I was
are
in
you
platform
doing?
sandals.
Are you gonna be all
And a
right
tank
on this
top.
bike? She's like, yep.
I don't know. I think I just wanted to get on a motorcycle.
It was the bike, it wasn't me.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
I was also very new to the LGBT community, so it was like my first time actually having a female partner. I didn't want to be gay almost because I thought there was this big stigma about it, and I was very nervous to actually say am I really gay? Am I a lesbian? We were raised upstate in Amsterdam, New York, 40 miles west of Albany. And it was very, closed mind. Everybody would go to high school and then you usually just get married and have kids. That's it. That's your life story. And so I had gay boyfriends at the time, but I never really had any women that were gay around me. So I never almost didn't even realize it. I went to gay clubs with my friend and I never registered that there was females there probably looking for females. It's like I had blinders on.
One of the most important things to me about riding is that it's extremely liberating and empowering. And it's empowering for almost any woman that I've ever seen go from a non-rider to a rider, she's felt this empowerment in her life. You have a powerful machine, yes, between your legs. The engine is singing a song, the wind is making a rhythm. It's this gorgeous, multi-stranded experience. It's so primal, and it feels very sacred. You have a sense of all these strands coming together, the way a complex musical piece comes together and comes apart and is beautiful.
I wish that I could see the world through someone else's eyes. I wish that I could see the world through someone else's eyes. My vision has been clouded.
When I was a kid, I rode bicycles everywhere. I grew up on a farm in Western Massachusetts, extreme Western Massachusetts. I used to always say the only place I could dance was on a bicycle. And it occurred to me when I met Cheryl that motorcycles seemed like a good alternative, a good way to get around the things that I didn't like about riding a bicycle in the city. So I got myself a cheap motorcycle and immediately joined the Sirens, and that was in 2006.
Inspired by motorcycle trips. Yeah! It's actually connected to motorcycle trips. Every fall, some of the Sirens Women's Motorcycle Club of New York City, right up to the Berkshires for a weekend. And I grew up not that far from there. So when I leave, generally, I ride past the house where I grew up. I wrote this song about going there and missing people in my family that I've been out of contact for a long time with. So.
The Stonewall riots or a Stonewall rebellion was when the cops raided a mafia-controlled bar on Christopher Street for the umpteenth time, and people had had it, and they fought back. And the riot went on for 3 days, and it's considered the birth of the modern LGBT rights movement. And so much has taken off since then. We have made so much progress since then.
So this is a time for us to remember.
I like to march because they're no longer with us sometimes, and that's what I think about when I march.
Or roll. We roll.
Never, never, ever did I think that we would never be riding in a pride in June. The pandemic was hard for all of us because we lost our siren sister, Kim, early in March and very early in the pandemic. So that took a huge toll on us in the club. I mean, she became one of our closest friends. She was Jen's best buddy, like the person that she would turn to, the person she'd go do fun things with besides me. I mean, she really did lose her best friend, and that's been really hard for her and for me.
I don't know I don't know how it's gonna be the same ever again for me. She's been on my mind so much lately because we are coming up on Pride season again. And it was this was Kim's time. She would shine the most. She really did take the whole joy of it all and just express that in a way that nobody else could. You know, some people just kind of have a light, you know? I may be biased, but she had a light. The part of my life that I cherish so much had so much to do with her too. And so that thing, the Sirens, like, I have to figure out a way to find the joy still there without her there.
In the queer community, we have our families of choice, and the Sirens have been family and home for the last 13 years.
I think when I was a kid, it would have helped me 1,000,000 times over if I had seen people like me. Oh my God. To be normalized. Oh man, that would have changed my life.
What will the Sirens be like in the future? Will there be a reason to have the Sirens in the future? And the reason why I think that there is a reason, and it is important that we have this, is that you want a community that feels like home. You want a community that feels like I have sisters who have my back.